Well, hello, my lovelies. It's Murky Meg here. It's Saturday, the 10th of September. Now, this is my second video today. If you haven't already watched, I'll put a link in the top right-hand corner if you'd like to go and see that. It's where I talk about King Charles III being proclaimed and what will happen in the 10 days of mourning up to the Queen's funeral. It's actually quite interesting to know what's going to be taking place. So if you'd like to learn about what happened or what's going to happen, click on the top right-hand link and it'll take you to my previous video. Now, I don't particularly like to talk about this while everything is going on, but I think that this really needs to be said because there was some division when it came to Harry and Meghan and what transpired with the announcement by their own PR person that they were both travelling up to Balmoral to be with the Queen on Thursday. Now, it's been reported that Buckingham Palace were left incredulous when Meghan Markle said that she was on her way to Balmoral with Prince Harry, which prompted staff in an unprecedented fury behind the scenes at the palace, it has been reported. Now, bear in mind, this was taking place while the unimaginable was happening. Now, everybody knew that this was the final hours of the Queen, yet Harry and Meghan's PR spokesperson announced that they were going together. So during this family tragedy, a domestic drama was happening. Now, it's also been reported that the news that they were travelling up to Balmoral together as a couple was learned by the palace by the media themselves, when at 1:53 a statement from the spokesperson of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex stated Duke and Duchess of Sussex will be travelling to Scotland. This, as it was reported, was news to the palace, and apparently it did not go down very well. In fact, it was King Charles, or then Prince Charles, who told Prince Harry not to bring Meghan to Balmoral to see the dying Queen. It wasn't until a little while later that another hurried announcement was published that it would only be Harry going up to Balmoral. Now, as we know, only the Queen's oldest children, Charles and Anne, were present when she passed away. The other children, Andrew and Edward, arrived shortly along with Prince William and, of course, Sophie. A lot of people have asked why Sophie was there, but she was adored by the Queen, and this was specifically at the Queen's request that she would be there. That's testament in itself of how much she actually cared for Sophie Wessex. It was very much noticeable that there was no invitation to Harry to join the family party that headed north on that Thursday with the RAF plane landing at Northolt in Aberdeen. He made his own way to Balmoral by private jet and faced a lonely drive to the castle, and he finally arrived at 7:52, an hour and a half after the palace statement informed the nation of the death of Her Majesty. He then left at 8:28 the next day, little more than 12 hours after he arrived at Balmoral. Now, while he was there, he would have had to have kissed his father's hand, curtsied to his stepmother, and of course to the heir to the throne, Prince William, who, by the way, congratulations are in order because Charles yesterday announced that Prince William and Catherine, not only are they the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge and Cornwall, but they are now officially the Prince and Princess of Wales. I'm so thrilled for them. It's so deserved, especially Catherine. She is our new Princess of Wales. Now, before the decision and the announcement that Harry would go up to Balmoral alone, the initial decision itself that both the Sussexes would travel to Balmoral was seen as wholly inappropriate, according to palace insiders, for one simple reason: this was a private family moment. Now, a lot of people have speculated that Kate stayed behind for her children. That is probably partly true, but also you've got to remember that Kate is very dutiful. She knows her place, and I would imagine that she would automatically assume that this wasn't a place for her to be. It was for the Queen's blood family. They were due to fly home several days after the Well Child Award. We don't really know what date they were due to fly home. That's all up in the air at the moment. Harry returned from Balmoral to Frogmore Cottage yesterday morning. He travelled, and it's unknown whether or not they will stay in this country. I suspect Harry will. Not sure whether Meghan will. However, she has cancelled a Jimmy Fallon appearance that was due to take place and a trip to New York for the UN General Assembly. Now, it's said that these were scheduled to take place the day after the Queen's funeral, but that yet hasn't technically been announced, but everybody's assuming it's going to be the 19th of September. She's also postponed her next Archetype podcast. I'm sorry to have to compare the two, but isn't it striking that Kate just instantly knew what to do? Or so I'm reading. That's my opinion. And Meghan had to actually be told. Now, I don't like reporting this at this time of sorrow, but I think it's incredibly important to understand what happened that day because it was so confusing. It came from a Sussex PR spokesperson that they were going up together, only to be changed a couple of hours later by Omid Scooby, saying, actually, no, it's only Prince Harry. Meghan's decided she's going to stay at home. Frogmore. Unfortunately, the damage is already done because the spokesperson had already said they were both going up. So everybody knew something had happened to stop her going up and only Harry make the journey. I'm going to let you all come to your own conclusion about what reading between the lines went on, but it's been confirmed that Charles said no, Meghan will not be coming, and that Harry had to make the trip alone. Now, we all know that there's no love lost between them, him and William especially. So I imagined that it would have been particularly tricky to be up at Balmoral together. But I'm sure, as the Queen's grandchildren, they made it work because duty comes before anything else, for William at least. The next coming days will be very interesting. We know that the Sussexes put out lots and lots of things via the media, so it will be interesting to see what happens. Will they be quiet, or will there be some slide bits of information coming through? Only time will tell, I guess. I would love to know your thoughts on this. What do you actually think went on behind closed doors? How do you think the palace felt? Running around, they knew exactly what was going to happen. They knew the Queen was in her final hours. Yet the Sussexes again announced that they were going up, to everybody's dismay, to everybody's shock. And if you imagine how much turmoil and chaos was going on behind the scenes because the monarch was in her final few hours, to then have to sort the problem of the Sussexes out. Shameful, really, isn't it? I don't like saying it at this particular time, but I'm so angry that the royal family, in their final moments of saying goodbye to a beloved monarch, mother and grandmother, had to deal with Harry and Meghan. So I would love to know your thoughts on this. What do you think went on behind closed doors? How do you think it went down when she was told absolutely not? Do you think she would actually say, I totally understand, I get this, and then retreat back to Frogmore Cottage? What do you think of William and Catherine now becoming the Prince and Princess of Wales? I think it's fantastic. And also, what did you think of Charles's speech when they were referred to as just purely Harry and Meghan and continue their journey overseas? It was a sweet nod to Harry and Meghan, but those of us that follow this melodrama galore will know that words mean everything. As always, I would love to know your thoughts. Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit the notification bell, and also that like button. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all of my followers for all the tips and all the emails, DMs that everybody sends to me. It really is greatly appreciated. So thank you very much for watching once again.